Welcome, all you True Blue fans, as we get into the University of Toronto, going into the Valorant Rivals Series number 11. That's a couple of ones, not breadsticks, and just fingers up at you guys, because we're going straight for the uprights, going into some action. I am Hail Monkey Man, alongside one of my greatest and longest standing casters, because all the other ones just left me, as Bearlight will be joining me in the booth, going into this awesome Rival Series as presented by KIVO. Bear, we get to finally see some bracket action as we go deep into the trenches. It is single elimination time as we follow UofT.
And then why would I even have a moment where I'd want to leave you, Hell Monkey Man, when we
Ah.
get to see what we get to see here today? Obviously, KIVO, a great organization, excited to kind of see these teams in action, because a lot of them are some that we recognize from across the Valorant world. So to see them in these different worlds and be able to face off against teams that are established and some that are looking for new pieces to maybe experiment on other tournaments and so on and so forth. So I'm excited to see which players actually stand out and which ones are going to make the difference here as we move into the first match here.
Yeah, this first match is going to be going against Invicta Gaming, but we don't want to leave you high and dry as to who in the world is playing on this side of the tape with the University of Toronto, bringing in some of your favorites. If you don't know them now, you're going to know them for a while, as we got Jackie, Hypex, Kevin, Jan, and Axel. So looking at this squad, I've been able to witness some of the intramurals that are going on for the UofT, and I feel really excited as to what they've kind of put together. Really a front-standing group, and you know that this is going to be a tough competition. You had said that we kind of had at least a few notions as to who's popping up here. I've got a few names and I've got a few schools that are also in this bracket, looking pretty promising. But we also had a lot of changes recently, especially in the next couple of months. Map changes on the horizon, lots to talk about here in the good game of Valorant.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, if we're talking about like introducing new maps to the map pool, bringing a couple in the future, including Fracture, seems a little bit interesting. But we've gotten to see a little bit of play on Pearl as well, one of my least favorites back in the day. But apparently, it's been really making its rise as of late. So yeah, the map pool has definitely changed. We also get to see some of the new agents coming to the pool as well. Vice being one of them, who's is very interesting. I've been able to use a few times. It gets some of that, just another piece to a Sentinel role that you can bring into your role into your lineup is definitely interesting. So I love to see the new changes that Valorant's been making. We'll see. Some of them are questionable, Hill Monkey Man, but either way, excited to see them come to action.
It's so funny to see how some of these maps get changed into the pool, and then ultimately they're like, well, you've been here for a minute, so see you later, alligator. And that one, in case you guys did not see the announcements, we will be getting rid of Ascent. Ascent will be gone.
That's
and
wild.
Sunset, which I had actually just gotten used to. It's basically the same map, so get rid of them. Lotus, Fracture will be reloading, but we are going to be loading into the great map of Bind, which got reinvented for wide Killjoy, wide joy, if you will, a little while back, with some of those doors and some of the reconfiguration of geometry going into the double stacks on A main side. And you had spoken to Vise, which I think really has kind of been at least tried and true and kind of moved around at least a couple of times. The shear really does separate people, and it's about how you can really weaponize that trap wall as it pops up, and it makes for fantastic re-engagement as a Sentinel, especially because of the arc rows getting that flash. You can use it through walls in case you have never right-clicked with that blind. Well, that's how it works, and it really allows a team to get re-engaged when getting back on the side.
It can change your whole life. I mean, some of the point examples I know of is C Long on Haven, for example. You can go all the way through and get a flash on the site, and you can do that on so many different maps as well. So yeah, I love the utility that it brings to the map. Cool, definitely changes things, no doubt about it. It's the ability to have like a Sage wall to some degree, except obviously play differently. That brings a little bit more strategy. That obviously you'll see a lot more Vice than you might see Sage here recently. But let's get to it, because right now our first match underway. University of Toronto and Invicta Gaming will be the two teams here at hand, and it looks like we'll have University of Toronto starting on the defending side here for Bind. Map truly with no mid. Obviously, you're going to see some rays here because there's just so many opportunities through Garden that you can clear out, through Hookah as well, through A. So I wouldn't be shocked if I didn't see one on both sides here.
Yeah, honestly. And this is also kind of dealer's choice at this point because we've seen such great play when it comes to utilizing Yoru onto this map. I don't think that we're going to be getting that one, at least on the UofT side of things. It looks like we're actually launching into a double initiator kind of concept. I've actually seen no Sentis be used at times to be able to get some more versatility, especially with double smokes. It looks like Jackie is going to be the lone smoke and controller hanging out with the squad going onto that brim. They're going to probably be facing that encounter, but Hoodie from the side of Invicta at least is floating onto that Viper. So a lot of similarities across both of these sides. The sole difference here, Bear, is that we're looking at the double initiator off of the Sky and the Gecko combo versus that double controller. So, you know, trying to really kind of press the pace maybe with some of this defense reactionary and as well as get a lot of information.
Yeah, I do like that Sky bringing in here just to have a sentinel for for an initiator that can really get you on this site. Obviously the guiding light and trailblazer combination define some of that util, but with the Cypher too, just so much information too with Gecko coming in with Hypex. So this combination has a lot of data. It's how are you going to utilize that and be able to take it to your advantage here. Obviously a lot more intel that you'll see from the other side. He's also bringing in the Sky and Cypher combination, but lacking that Gecko where the Dizzy can give you information and blind at the same time. So there's a lot of value that I see from Hypex bringing in Gecko here for bind, but should be a good one nonetheless. I do like the Viper on the other side though. Hoodie Alex rather is definitely going to have an advantage because that wall can truly really control a lot of what is linked between A and B on the attack side. So we'll see if that make good use of it here when they start off on the attack side now.
And also, in case you guys have not been playing into 9.10, there's also now the regen shield that's kind of reshaped some of these eco situations. We will see at least the threat of a triple push up long. They want to hyper utilize getting to that ult orb, making sure to take over some space, and that also gets rid of the capacity of having a dangerous lurk. They're going to use that brim smoke to really get themselves all the way up into that long distance, and Rivago has to run away from first contact.
Yeah, a smart move. You know, you have the rest of the cavalry. You might as well join them in the meantime. But now just all by their lonesome here. The Cypher on this side. So it'll be very difficult. Blinding light out or guiding light out rather to try to blind them to get into the smoke. But Seven will handle it well with a couple of kills right off the bat. Two sneaking through. They get a 3K before they'll fall.
One
and
enemy
it's
remaining.
Hoodie that gets a couple, but Axel will follow up the rest. And left it just days here at the tail end of things. And great start. Exactly how you want to chop things up if you're University of Toronto.
Fantastic work right there, especially by Axel to clean things up. You make that's a set piece play, right? Especially we get to see something similar when it was on the days of Lotus, which will be returning in the early parts of 2025. Shout out to the new year as it is forthcoming. And as you kind of make use of that, not only do you thieve space, but you reshape the map to your own design. You're able to really kind of collectively pause all of Invicta and force them into that short funnel. And they're going to be playing into those toxic screens now as they go into this eco situation. You're gonna have the early cam, see if Rivago can see them early. It already gets shot. That should be a clue.
Yeah, it's gonna give you a hint. So reaction is obviously the way that you want to hit things up and really make the adjustments necessary, and they'll back up with these, and no real harm done here as Invicta will reguess and reorganize here. And they did the Viper wall that's pretty much directly through a link, so that'll try to at least give them a little bit of space, it would seem, as they move forward, march forward into that one. They'll have the Brimstone to deal with, though, so Jackie's holding off on this side, so we'll see if they press into it, but basically everybody tailoring towards this side. The Cypher is still lingering around the other side for the attack, but it's all about how you start off. So Pain Shell to try to close that corner off, so Jackie will be forced back into hookah, and now it's trying to jump back into the challenge him, but Jackie with the shot is going to take them out pretty instantly. Now Pain Shells to join that as well. Yawn on the far side, able to jump up and support as well from an off angle to take out Hoodie. And really make it interesting here. Days down as well. So now just that lone Cypher and a Dream here as they took the teleporter across, but it'll be a long kill.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, it'll be a long hill, especially because Rivago was hoping to be able to find someone as basically a surprise. It's gonna wait for Yawn to come through, and they're gonna finish this one off. A nice 3K, and that's exactly one of the main players. They do have that regen shield, by the way, in case you guys didn't know what that little logo meant. That one will be sticking at 25. And the coolest thing that I actually had to realize, because I thought shields always work this way, little did I know that all that armor will be first inflicted by damage, not touching your HP. It doesn't go like a 10% split. It actually goes fully to armor, regens. That means you can have a huge health pool going into late term whenever you try to re-engage and give yourself, I think it's about 3 to 6 seconds of time before you go back into battle. Either way, first two go over to University of Toronto, and now it's time for True Blue to see if they can take this bonus round, but it's a buyout now for Invicta.
Yellow having a chance at the bonus here at this point in time, dropping the first couple and really trying to get their footing under them, if nothing else. I mean, the A side hasn't worked extremely well, so they'll try the Trailblazer to sniff out what could be here at B. Ooh. And in fact, already from Hugo, it seems that Raze was able to cheat up, and now Pino T able to get a couple of kills before they can even react. Tony will add to the damage done here. Jackie is able to get one, but that's it. And now they'll have the advantage here in the 4v2 situation, and a retake that'll be difficult here. Looking into the sky, smoking, wondering how they can break through here with Axel. They won't have much utility to work with. They might have the guiding light to try to get on. I don't know how they snuck across. They're able to do that here on the backside and sneak around. It's a matter of if they were able to snuff it out. But they got one watching this angle, so they're gonna have to be really sharp here if they're gonna want to take this one out. They were able to cause a little bit of damage. Paint shells will try to clear them out as well. And now the 3K looking for 4, trying to chase down Axel and not able to get it on the first exchange, but eventually it will not take place quite yet. But the spike ticking down nonetheless, so it was just a game of how many can you put on their backs, and it was a matter of 1 at the end of the day there.
Hey, you know what? That still is early eco damage. You're able to take at least 1 player off the board, or actually a couple actually out of the 5. So we go into our first rifle round. A couple of rebuys will have to occur. And I did like, you know, kind of the pacing that went with that. I'm waiting for the day that we actually get to see the Pathfinder get affected by the Brimstone. Just have a super fast Australian dog, or Tasmanian devil rather, having to run around all over the place. Well, you go into rifles. Kevin has been doing fantastic so far. I mean, every Cypher should be, as they kind of receive defensively and have to dictate some of that level of pace. We trade very loud, very bright Articunos as they go bursting into showers, and that Pathfinder will get some extra information, at least that they're not around that mid trigonometry right there. So for the early part of this push up into showers, it looks like they were able to get all of an alt orb, but Pino T really has been kind of impactful, but they have to take their time on this one.
And I like that, you know, approach as far as using the guiding lights a little bit better, because, you know, you weren't able to capture any space if you're University of Toronto here. So really just the beneficiary of that situation. So that allows them to take showers, but they haven't got much further. So to UofT's credit right now, they just haven't allowed any kind of space to be taken here. Meanwhile, the lurk is going to be up towards Huka. On this side, they got a couple watching it here, so it's a matter of how can they react. Trailblazer right in your face. Ravago gonna have a difficult time here. That'll definitely chase them out the front door, and they'll be able to join it with the rest of the team here at A-League. So now you're watching Axel and their opportunity here at the sky. Over on his side, but was able to snuff out 7, who came from the backside on the far side of sight. We'll get the first engagement here. Axel with a couple of their own. Ravago not able to take it to him. Now 7 able to whittle their numbers down to 1, and now it's a mouse game, and they will chase him down. Ravago on their back here, and a 4-man standing after that round.
That was fantastic. Great work having to work and get through all of the smokes and the cyber cages. Oh my! And now we already have a couple of ultimates online, as you do have the neural theft, which was made 1 more orb expensive, and then Axel that will have their seekers, which is just a ton of information if you really think about it between those two, and that will shut down what could be the swing round, because you go into that rifle after winning the first 2, surrendering your bonus. You got a couple on the floor, and now they have to prioritize getting some extra credits. This should pivot into a 4-1, depending on how crispy those headshots will be.
You'd be on point from the get-go, right? It seems like for the most part you've had a lot of people engaged early, and right now Invicta has done a great job in that 1 round, but outside of that they've really suffered when it comes to the hands of positioning, when it comes to the hands of being able to penetrate what has been a very disciplined defensive look, as UofT has been able to take 3 out of the first 4 rounds. To build on that, as Milo Chi just trying to poke at it from this distance, not able to really see or engage much, and they're going to have a handful of Cypher util that they're going to have to run into here to even get on the site in the first place. Kind
of to note, in terms of kind of regularity of role and position, Kevin actually kind of acts as a flex 7 Kevin, if you will. And Axel has been much more into a Senti position. A lot of just spray and pray. They know they have the right click. Rivalgo's hoping to at least run away long enough, but 3 little 9 mils should be able to connect. They do so, and they're just holding down this site. Even off the blind, they can't really create some space to even get through the window. And a flawless round to finish up and follow up, rather, is fantastic work. You knew you had the Arsenal differential. So now walking to this one, Invicta needs to find this round, or we could be seeing some streaking going on for True Blue.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of that is, I point to at least a lack of confidence, it seemed like in that instance, because Invicta certainly had a great opportunity as they chased them through gardens. The one individual who was looking to back up from UofT, they could have easily chased, and they did actually. So popping out a hookah would have gave them an advantage. I think they might have been at risk for like one off angle that they could have cleared out, and then they would have had a numbers advantage on this side, but they just didn't take advantage of that. So we'll see if they can adjust accordingly and really trust the process, as they served as a bit of a distraction there and really had that opportunity, but it didn't quite work out for them. But now you see how quickly they pop on his site as well here, as they're looking to change that pace and be more confident. And Invicta will hail Monkey Man. That's the way to get it done, and take some space and get right into position for this next push and retake opportunity.
You did good.
See if we'll be able to at least use it from distance, but Jan has been fantastic. They find a couple, and that will ruin them from distance. Hoping to at least use these paint shells, but now it's actually Hoodie Alex that comes up huge. It's a 3v1. They've got to find a stop at least to be able to secure this, but instead, guess who? It's 7 Kevin, sends them to heaven, and this one's going to be a 5th for UofT.
No panic attitude, right? They're just able to kind of change their angle if they need to and approach from different ways. That's the strategy of playing a more default look on the defensive side, and then just be able to trust the process, trust your communication lines, and when you see and feel like the rotation's coming, you just join them. And that's been excellent so far for UofT. And they marched up to the 5-1 lead currently off the back of an 11-2 start for 7, who's been absolutely excellent as a Cypher. Being able to utilize that util and get the kills is something that's spectacular and that a lot of teams would love to have.
You could say we're actually playing into maybe the counter strength of doing double initiator versus double controller. When they have the double controller going onto the defensive side, it will be a little bit tougher to have to work through because you have the single Senti, but all the extra information that we're getting off of the Gecko, as well as Axel's fantastic guiding light, has really been giving them the advantage. Hypex will take some damage, that cam will go down, but days will fall. This is going to be a dry entry no matter how you do it, and they're caught a corner off of the stun. The neural theft goes out. Rivalgo praying they can get behind some kind of wall, but they know someone is over an elevator, rather TP, to see what else can be happening around this cyber cage.
Just a sideways elevator, that's all it is. Well, yeah, look at them targeting. You just have to kind of chill here if you're Axel, because they can't get to you at this point, and now the rotation really just trying to distract them as Hypix is coming around here. So now it'll be an option for Dizzy coming out. Tried the wingman as well, but that wasn't able to connect. And now they got him looking the other way. Hypex looking to combination. Now Rivalgo faced the wrong way. And there you go. Just the patience staying in that sideways elevator fuel. And why not? Have 7 do the rest here to take out care of business on the rest of the team. 6-1 now here for UofT.
I've been casting way too much Halo, and the bottom part of the elevator they have on recharge for that, as I slide my mic, it looks exactly like that, by the way.
It does.
So
actually,
it's kind of wild.
Oh,
so
right.
my apologies, but I should know my call-outs. Either way, kind of crashing waves against the rock of the entrance of Hookah. All of UofT basically cosplaying as bouncers to the club. No one allowing anyone in from Invicta as they go into yet another rifle round. And I gotta think, if they cannot grasp this round in particular, this is going to be a full wipe. This first half has been so difficult for them. They've gone for the same similar set play as both Hypex and Squad will back on up. Oh, they do get a great entry frag. Jan will fall, and that's going to be their doppelganger out of the way. But they're keeping this idea open to maybe use this TP as everyone reconvenes.
Yeah, Hypex did a great job to kind of just tuck behind and wait for the rest of the team to circle around. They have Orbital Strike to put them on. Pino-T almost fell for it and jumped in. Now Day's going to get a kill as well. And through the Sky Smoke, Milo going to fake the plant here. Interesting time to do that because Jackie was on the backside, and they have full support nonetheless. But 7 will fall, and Axel's gonna have to do it himself. So far, so good with a couple kills, and they drop down as well. Pino-T right behind them will get that last kill. Sneaky move. Pino-T starts it and ends it. The Alpha and Omega in that round to at least get them back to 2 rounds now.
And Pinoti has been the main person that has been impactful when it came to the only 2 rounds that this team in Invicta has in fact won. They had the triple, I believe, in that 3rd round whenever they were able to win off of the counter bonus. And then now finally stuffing out and snuffing out this streak that it was 4 in a row, maybe even a 5th to that moment. And it was because of that long swing. You're seeing a few of those regen shields getting picked up by some squad mates here with Invicta because they weren't able to buy full, which really is kind of a game changer at times moving into some of these. It's a little bit extra creds, but if you can't reach 1,000, why not get something extra? Rivaldo is just a rat in a corner. Well, that's one of the most dangerous. Trying to be able to find another one, but you get it with a showstopper and trade.
Okay, so like, listen, it's not the most ideal time in a 1v1 situation to pull it off, but when you have somebody who's about to pop off or feels like they're getting some momentum, I do like that ability to take out the showstopper, get that kill, secure it, put it in the bag, and right now it gives you a 4v3 advantage as well. And now Invicta has all 4 members tucked up in between, wondering which way to go. Right now, they were thinking about who could push. That was well determined that that's not the right move. And in fact, they kind of sensed it. Yeah, you saw the Cypher kind of lurking there, and now they'll decide to go through Cave instead. A very excellent decision from Invicta, and they could easily get behind 7 here. But 7,
he knows.
That's great. Great timing from 7. We'll turn around, but he's just not thinking of it right now. Still has a bit of wall to determine it. He'll walk by. Now chance he sees them, gets one.
Spike
and
down,
a spike down.
spawn.
Doesn't pick it up instantly,
Last
but
player
tries to
standing.
challenge. And 7 to 4K. Always different. A great job to hold this flank. And when Invicta gave them the data he needed, he did not miss.
7 is the landlord, and y'all's rent is due. Ain't no one coming in this house unless you have to pay the troll toll, and they are just whacking them on the skull. 7 Kevin is doing fantastic things out there, and I love that they had a mindfulness, knowing the timing, especially when all of Invicta was like, all right, we need to be able to make this rotation, but we've allowed way too much space and time with no one down checking it to safely navigate straight back over to short. So we need to make this a long turn, but just with the thinnest amount of margin of difference, finally able to get something working. So we go into round number 10. University of Toronto looking fantastic. You got the orbital strike back already. I swore they just used this one last time Pinoti was actually able to get around. Gotta watch out because they have a showstopper, and here it comes.
And right into it, blast packs in. Was looking for Hookah, which was the right spot because that's where they tucked in, but Jan and Hypex with a 6th sense, able to escape before anything developed there too. The showstopper is about to run out, so you just gotta use it backside. Hope you catch somebody rotating, but instead you'll catch Jan. If you're Hoodie, Alex down, Days as well. Oh my
One
Days.
enemy remaining.
Now they're on the backside, 7 doing the rest on that. Now you're surrounded and Jan right in your face. And the defusal will take place. It'll be 8-2 now for the University of Toronto.
Days of our lives, and theirs is very short. Wow, finding a 3K like they're playing Apex Legends, just straight up sweeping through everyone, and it's a bit of a bumble party going on top of the spike. A flawless round, the 2nd, I believe, for this True Blue squad to get so far in the first 10. And Invicta, I mean, it's a bad way. I've not seen, you know, I actually check that. I have seen Bind be flipped around whenever you go between halves. So they've got to make sure they finish out correctly. 9-3 curses are very real. I've even seen 10-2s turn the other way, Bear. But this team right now feels like they're just in a very measured place.
I'm a little bit confused, I'll be honest, and not to literally point any fingers here, but Hoodie, Alex, again, there's been 2 orbital strikes that have taken place or about to take place before they popped it right now, and they are tending to be by themselves on certain looks. This is more of a default, I understand, but you're not really able to get the Viper's Pit off before, you know, you find any util for it. You can't carry that into the second half and then turn it, so I'd like to see that used. And now you'll see the rest of the team kind of joining them, so you would feel like that will be the plan here, is to try to get up, but down goes Hoodie again, as 7 will hold strong on a link and will put Ravanko on their back as well and make it this 4v3 advantage here for UofT yet again.
May even find a 3rd, depending on this turn and the spin. Oh my goodness, we went straight away from it. But either way, Days does at least end the reign of tyranny. It's a big trade. Down B long. That's where all the rest of the action is going on. And unfortunately for Days, it's going to take them a week to get back over into that position. And look at the cross. They're going to be able to set up counter angle from this fountain position. They have to be ready for anyone down in long distance. The timing, are you serious, Jan? Okay, all right, they recognized it.
There.
Thought for a second. I mean, yeah, Sky smoking down, so I was a little bit confused why you'd leave that position. Oh, but yeah, you saw they just had no idea. That was great positioning, number one from Jan, but didn't trust themselves in that moment until they were able to turn it. So no harm done there in that. So 9-2. Now UofT, it's just been a completely dominant performance from this team. Has been able to utilize a lot of their strengths and move into a position where they can play aggressively if they need to. But really, it's just been disciplined positional play. Let this team come to you, and when Invicta does press in, no panic attitude to call in the rest, and they've been strong ever since Hail Monkey met.
Just taking that old orb for free. Nothing's really been kind of challenging them. They do send out the Pathfinder just to see if anyone is down in distance, and they actually will teleport through to give Jan a chance to kind of go over to that shower. So it becomes a 3 power man play over onto A side. A lot of tripwires and a lot of versatility and arsenal sitting on that site. So you got to think, all right, now if Milo was able to find any kind of information from that, maybe see, all right, they didn't go out long. Maybe now with the extra TP of an actual person going through, we move over and we start looking towards B, and the spike is all the way on that side. In fact, it's on that B long position, so they could pivot. If they're going to take this fight in hookah, they're going to have to win these ones through window, and so far they've just been unable to do that.
Yeah. Ravago going to have to lead the charge here at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, T was able to at least clear out hookah, and they still are not very confident about it. As the boom bot didn't find anybody, but still at the same time, maybe just trying to make noise here, but the noise isn't really working. You see UofT already rotating around in support. They'll leave the Gecko there just in case. So it'll be Hypex as the one. Well, they'll circle around too as they feel everybody coming through. Buddy Alex gonna be taken out. 7, the one to do it at their hands. Now guiding light right in front of you. 7 was blinded, won't matter.
Spike down.
As Milo takes the kill and one into that one, they look up top as well, and 7 does the rest. Another 3K for him. How great has 7 been?
Just fantastic. So much so that apparently it sounded like a 747 as they were taking off with those extra kills. I don't know if there was a train. I don't know what it was, but the choo-choo train out of good old Toronto apparently is just chugging along full speed. 10-2. Now this is again that point where I am right now the biggest advocate for UofT. However, double controller plus a sentinel is a very strong defensive position. You do have an 8-round leniency to get this one done, and with the way that your Cypher was able to do, and it's not as if anyone else was weak. Just got to see how they can really kind of run off of these initiators. Want to find pace with Jan. I want to see what they can get from both his Gecko and from the Sky. They should be able to kind of parade onto site if they have the confidence to do so.
They've had a few rounds that I have like their confidence, and in fact, they'll go incredibly quick this time with a shorty in hand, trying to catch him in the short side, but days, it doesn't matter. They will get that kill early. So this pistol round looking a lot stronger here for this squad. 7 still trying to inch forward as well, but 7 trying to ride the momentum. He's got a 5.75 KDA currently. 5.5 KD for those of you who are tracking, which is absolutely insane. But he'll have to do a whole lot more and add to a lot more of that in order to make this round count for them. But we will eyeball it in the meantime. Was able to at least dodge the flash, so nothing too crazy, but at the end of the day, this is a mouse game. They'll be able to chase them in. They know it's there. The sound cue is there, but 7's still able to get one. Hold that thought. Already knows that nobody's left this. I don't think they heard the doors, but they still don't trust that they're turned around. But still no sound cue either. So a very awkward moment, an exchange where nobody really wants to find one another. So this time is just going to tick down. And in the meantime, 7.
30 seconds left.
I trust the ability to frag, but I don't know if I trust the ability to do this and basically dissect this defense in the matter of 20 seconds.
They are trying to play that full cat and mouse game. They did hear the doors open, so Kevin doesn't have a chance. It's gonna be a long cross for them to make it work. They pick it up. They're trying to sprint. It is an Olympian trial. They're gonna get that cyber cage. Can they at least get the plants off? If there was ever anyone to do it, it would be 7 Kevin. They are gonna plant right on the front side of Tube because of that extra ping going out. They're welcoming the challenge from anyone in hookah, but Ravago will play counter spy. You know what? That was probably the best you could get, was getting a ult orb out of it.
Spike the
That's right, 100%. Screw the NT. That was a GT. That was a great try, right? It was Honestly, like the best you could have done in that situation, at least from my perspective, or short of being able to collect that first kill, and then maybe you had an opportunity, but it was crazy what they were able to accomplish with just little resources there in the pistol round to almost steal one away. But instead, you know, it'll still be basically the same results here as it'll be Invicta. Credit them for getting one on the board here in the pistol round, and they'll have the weaponry here. But I mean, the way that this UofT team has been dominating in these gunfights, it makes me a little bit wary to say that, hey, you know, Invicta will have the clear shot advantage just because of the weaponry.
They're going to hinge a lot of it. I mean, they have 3 on A side. They also have PNOT that has that outlaw already moving at least one player over, trying to go towards that B position because of the talk screen. That actually, no, they're using the talk screen to kind of give themselves some space from that at least tree position. And so Jan sees one. They're going to show throw the paint shields, use the little double blast pack. They're going to get sprayed down, dropping right inside the Sky Smoke, and Rivalgo and Hoodie Alex on this B side. So no one laying a foot onto it. But look at that deep entrench that we actually have on the A, but they're separated from Spike. It doesn't matter what 7 Kevin's doing.
One enemy remaining.
They have a direct outlaw shot booming through.
Yep. Down you go. High pixel, one left.
Flawless.
And yeah, at that distance, not quite going to get it done. The Sheriff landed just a little bit low. Otherwise, that headshot would have made it at least a little bit interesting to try to take some rifles out of the hands. But instead, the flawless round here. And Invicta definitely feeling themselves now. And University of Toronto still with the 6-round lead. And also, you know, obviously they'll have the bonus round to play into as well. So they will have this opportunity here with the weaponry to really give themselves an advantage here. But we'll see if their attack can find the same amount of results. You know, you brought in this combination of agents for a reason. But we'll see if they can get it done here on the attack. As right now, just a bit of difference when it comes to Invicta's approach here on the defensive side. It feels like they are the ones that have a more measured approach in some circumstances, and they'll have to play aggressively as they know UofT is going to try to get on site as soon as they possibly can here. Well, that was the thought until A-Link, they said, never mind, we're going to go B instead.
And just kind of check every position that they can, you know, see these kind of short-sighted positions, especially because they're not stealing any sort of space. They invited it, to be honest. They all grouped up, went into that short A, and then thought, okay, maybe they'll come out of hookah, but no early bodies on the floor. In fact, you're just seeing jump pinking right now from out of B long. And so Milo, they're going to hear footsteps from out of that Pathfinder, which may in fact get a stun. They know they're kind of either stuck or dead corner. You see that guiding light and no follow-up. So that's a free kill. They can't quite pivot around it, but they do as they jump from out of window. And so much dedicated looks were pushed towards tree that they find themselves on the beat.
Oh, everybody just pushing the smoke into Madhouse here. Blind one at that, as now 7 trying to break through, but Rivalgo had his number. Jan gonna take care of it again. That's 2 swings here from Jan. One out of window and then one on the backside, and we'll complete a 3K here as Days will jump down and fall down. As 11-4 now, UofT, as they're able to take advantage of this bonus, roll into this one with a very good chance here, and that's why you see Milo call his timeout and say, well, let's take a second to think about this. Invicta, they were able to win the first couple of rounds, which was definitely a check off the checkbook for what they were looking to accomplish here in the second half. But since then, it's been, they saw that round get away from them. And now Hill Monkey Man, just an opportunity to kind of talk things over and see how they can approach UofT now that they know that they'll have a head of steam rolling in this next round.
Yeah, this is going to be a big rifle round, especially for Invicta. Invicta has to come in and completely execute. They've been, and defense overall by design is the one that has to receive the pace set by this attack, and this attack hasn't exactly leaned into Jan explicitly, because we've seen the combinations, especially because Seven Kevin, whichever way you want to do it, they've really been proactive working around util to get extra information, especially from Axel or from Hypex, even if it's kind of not directionally, yes, they are right here, it's kind of like AoE. But if they don't run off of this, we're going to be on match point. This is still best of 1. You don't see a BO3 of series of anything until we get to the grand finals. And this map pick, it's a brutal one, especially if you do not find your feet underneath you. So we go to round number 16. And I mean, this is basically for all the marbles, because if Invicta doesn't win this, they're going to be stuck in Ecoland.
And Invicta jumped in the situation where they said, we didn't really defend B as well as we could if we had a couple more angles that we were watching at this point. it would be a little bit stronger. So you saw the 3 on that side already, but they're making a lot of noise. UofT is here on the A site instead. So you see the Cypher kind of just move back over. Trap wires are already down there too, so having 2 individuals there right now would be suffice. And they'll have more eyes here where they heard that noise, a link, which right now is where they're lurking to some degree. You see Jan is up top on boxes and still kind of holding that angle, but right now the only one to do so, trying to catch a rotation if they were able to get onto the B site and roll through. So I do like the positioning. They have taken a lot of space here, basically a choke point, but they haven't taken B quite yet. So that'll be their next area of focus. They're going to swing A instead. Here comes John in for it. Does find the other raise, but unfortunately found a shot into the chest area and will fall because of it. But now the plant going down. UofT was spamming through it, but it was the wingman that they were going to catch instead. So had a tough time trying to figure that out as well. Hypex trying to dive into lamps here. A chance for Daze was there and puts them on their back as well. Rivago going to get one, but Milo will put them down. Kevin, another kill just up to them. Wasn't able to win the fight there with Milo. Will fall down. The defusal is inevitable. It'll be another round 1 by Invicta.
Living to fight another day, especially as they now do not get a couple in a row, as they had stopped the early bonus, but kind of a repeat in the opposite fashion. This time a 3-1 going for Invicta, and that'll force out, I believe, some sheriff buys. They may actually force it. They do have the leniency to have to be like anti-eco and kind of go into some of this as just a full fist fight. I don't mind that because you have kind of a 6-round swing. If this ends up in the dumpster, then you full save going into next. But this could also, because they took, I think, 3 off the board for Invicta, force them into a rough kind of rebuy depending on how you go. No matter what, they're trying to stave off match point. It's just too mentally scary. Don't want to have to deal with that early. And there's a lot of early util dumping to make sure that these short sides of A aren't jumped into immediately by UofT.
Yeah, they've done a great job to, you know, at least use counter utility in order to figure that out, like the trailblazer that you just saw, to find out where it was coming from. And for days it chased them out of lamps, and they were able to march forward. Essentially they're going to try to plant here as well, regardless of the 5 that are here on the defensive side. Jackie holding on to the shotty. You're the judge, trying to keep it short range, but now they've been able to kind of dive out on the backside here. Kevin hits the first one, but Hoodie, great answer back. And now they're trying the defusal right off the bat. Axel is tucked in this corner, but the Cyber Gauge will cover them here in the meantime, but they're able to get the kill through it. So now the Spike Diffuser not able to get the job done. They were able to get it down, so they should be able to get it done. No, the spray. Jackie with the judge comes through. And Jan was keeping them busy on the other side, on the far side, while he did that. That was so close for them to get into the defusal. They almost stuck at Hill Monkey Man, but instead UofT now 2-map point.
Jan doing their best imitation of a mounted 50 cal turret, and Jackie just running in like it's Gears of War, and Rhodey running with that judge straight into the gut of a couple. You can tell I'm excited for E-Day next year, but for right now it's D-Day on the side of Invicta as they have to deal with demolition derbies coming out of the half of University of Toronto. There's a lot of agreeing. Yes, Axel is very excited with them and Jan. In fact, they're seeing if they could play just very coy about a long push, and Alex may be doing so. In fact, they get caught in the trap.
Oh man, that's unfortunate. Not exactly how you wanted to start this round, was running into it right off the get-go. And so this will give the opportunity for Jan, feeling very confident about his push in there, but from an off angle, Milo through the smoke, no doubt. Wow. Sky Smoke able to take them out. So Milo now is backtracking here where they have a little bit of support back behind them, but Axel will get this plant down before they're able to jump onto it. Rivago close right behind the smoke, tugging behind is Kevin. Gonna get the right ends of it. Oh, perfectly reacts to it as well. Now Showstopper out though, gotta be careful here as Pino T gonna try to use it. And unfortunately for him, basically blows up in his face because Hyvex was able to take them out. Another kill. It'll be a 13-5 victory for the University of Toronto. They'll move on to the next round.
Fantastic work by UofT, walking into round number 1 and walking out victorious. It cannot be forgotten that they went into that first half 10-2. In fact, I think the last time in that first half that they were able to grab anything, it was 6-2 going into it. So lots of GGs at least being called, as this best of 1 is now incomplete here on Bind. Bear, a very dominant performance to start things off here.
Yeah, Kevin with the 30 bomb. will definitely get you rolling. The confidence, 31 kills, 9 deaths, got an assist to that as well, and a lot of that had to do with Jackie's play on the Brimstone as well. Had quite a few opportunities to at least open up some space with the Sky Smokes. We saw on multiple occasions that you're able to take a Lincoln in space, even into hookah, and then trust your jumps in because you're able to cover some of those off angles and clear the close ones before getting into sight. So I love the methodical approach from both the attacking side and the defense side to really kick it off there. I mean, really both ends of the equation were on point, and if UofT looks like that, they're looking like the number 2 seed right now. We'll see if they can continue to pick up some momentum and roll into the next one the same way, which, by the way, would be against the winner of Venator and Overlooked Entertainment. So we'll see who wins that occasion. It'll be another best of one on the other side as well, Monkey Man.
Yeah, and actually, we do know it's going to be against Venator.
Oh.
So if you want to check out UofT, you're in luck. We'll be taking a short break. But on the other side, more True Blue action as they will be facing off against Venator for the Valorant Rival Series number 11 right after this. Welcome back to Bind Simulator 2024. I'm Hell Monkey Man in the booth alongside Bear Light. In case you couldn't guess from that wonderful clue, then the good old education system has maybe failed you just this much. We're going back to Bind in round number 2, and apparently every single team loves Bind. The team we're playing now, they played Bind, we played Bind, and Bear, you will never ever guess where we're going, even though I said it just a moment ago. Where do you think we're going?
We're going to Binds. Let's go to Bind. Let's launch it. All right, let's go. And you misspelled or misspoke Valorant Rival Series number 11 by KIVO. So big shout to them and big shout to Bind Simulator, because here we go again. Which begs the question, Hell Monkey Man, we got to see a shining star when we talk about Seven, Kevin, Heaven. Give it to me, Cypher, fantastic. So we saw him lock that right in, right off the bat. So there's no hesitation whenever you have a round like you did just now, where you don't go back to that exact same comp and say, hey, let's get it done again, just like we did before, right?
Ooh, it looks like that we will, because Jackie's the only one who, by the way, is a sub-in for Shin today. And it looks like, yep, it's the exact same thing. Now, here's what's happening. They might mirror this completely and utterly. In fact, if I look back to what happened just a little bit ago, the only difference, now here's what may happen. Zugi played on Chamber, and Chamber is a fantastic receiver of pressure as long as you're getting those kills. Zugi in that previous matchup did go 13-12-1, and it looks like they are going to lock that in. So instead of being kind of a deterrent based on getting information and being kind of just, hokey pokey with some of those extra tripwires and having to deal with the extra 0.5, charging time to be able to have that one get targeted onto you. Instead, we're going for much more lethality here. I like it, but they're going to start off on attack, and that can be the crux of a situation for any good Bind composition.
You gotta land your shots. You go in Chamber here early, especially on the attack side, when you're going to sacrifice, let's say, a Sky. Actually, they look like they are going to lock in a Sky, so that was a very wise decision, because you get the Gecko Sky combination, which has been known very well here on the Bind side. So I definitely don't hate that comp by any means. And so for Chamber, though, specifically, obviously on the defensive side, you get a lot of value there. But also, not running the Cypher, you can say you give up a whole lot on that side as well. So it's definitely a more aggressive approach to some degree, especially in the rendezvous that you wouldn't have on the other side. So I do respect it. It's definitely going to be the X factor here, obviously, since it's the only difference between the two comps.
So we'll go into this one, and on the previous matchup, obviously we know all about Seven Kevin, bringing in some fantastic impact killing. I believe that Axel was doing just as much. They found so many different ways to be versatile off of those guiding lights. On the other side of the tape here, the main Slayer for the Venator, it was 21-7 for Frog Life, and then they had 14 assists off of their own utility pack, and then Akio on that Raze went 20-10. So some fantastic slaying potential on both of these sides. We are still in best of 1, and we will be doing that all the way until the grand finals, depending on if all good True Blue does in fact get there for the University of Toronto. They have to get through this squad first, and we're going to round number 1 already. But the biggest thing here, they refuse to run the set piece down B long. They're tracing this one a little bit further back.
Yeah, the Trailblazer was able to find one. Here's Akio looking to use the paint shells to try to clear some space, but you didn't clear the close corner, and Jan's going to take advantage of it here early with a frenzy. Literally a frenzy, not only on the weaponry, but also in the kill department. As they get a couple, but Hookah is currently occupied, although the Sky Smoke will hold them out here temporarily. A Team Venator coming in at also the 13-5 finale that they had in the last map, rolling into it with a bit of confidence, but perhaps a little bit shaken here. Jack was able to find one. It's Swaggy on that far side. Will pull out the Headhunter and take it to Kevin. Kevin's out of the equation now. And Sato looking for a little bit of space himself. A Sky Smoke trying to get that Sky from, appropriately enough, from Hookah to maybe have an ability to drop down in sight, but maybe thinking differently of it. Here it's spiked down, so certainly a difficult situation to approach, especially with pistols only and not enough numbers on your side.
Don't have any extra smokes. You have a Brimstone to maybe get there fast. Left. They know that someone is at least outside of that corner, but they have to expect that anyway. It's going to be a fist fight. I wouldn't expect all the extra util in the world. They actually do get one trade off of it. Axel is just going to hold close quarters, and now it kind of becomes a 2v number situation, 2v2 in fact. As they have that extra frenzy, it's just going to be a waylay melee down here on B long. So Hypex, finish this one off, and as soon as I got that spike all the way deep up B, or in that B long position, it became untenable to go and retrieve, especially because all the smokes have been used up.
Yeah, and they were able to occupy that space because of it too, by use of smokes of their own to jump on that as well. I did like the approach from Minotaur, from the situational approach of going hookah to be long, and eventually did approach it to a point where they could turn that corner. The only mistake was just not clearing that close corner, and when you dropped it first right off the bat, yeah, it made it very difficult for them. So you know, just one little thing could have gone differently. If they got that initial pick, maybe it would have gone their way. Now they have an opportunity to recover from it. Oh, here, that's going to cause a lot of damage from the mosh pit, forcing them backwards. And now with the guiding light to clear out gardens, they'll have a lot of space occupied here, especially when you have only the sky back to try to defend.
Zugi's doing the same kind of pathway. They're waiting to find this on a alert position. Axel finds a couple, and that will eventually have them fall. You do at least get the molly put out. That will not deter a plant. So they're playing at least from a position of advantage, but not from an arsenal situation. You have that one, and Frog Life is just jumping into anything that's on the floor. It is basically the floor is lava in the form of green and red. And Jan is just going to toss out their weapon. Oh my goodness, what a bait. Jan finds a 3K.
Yeah, that was it. I mean, at that point, you have numbers, just go ahead and throw it to it. But all that goes back to the Dizzy that also blinded too, staying true to the name, circulating and getting a couple of lands there to get the blind, get the couple of kills onto site. Because I mean, credit Venator for getting onto site there initially. It's just they weren't able to quite follow through and get the kills necessary, even when they had that advantage. I would like to see them push, and when they did push that sky, actually, well, they caught a bullet to the face. So unfortunately for them, it could have gone a little bit differently. Once again, Venator only 1 or 2 steps away from finding success, but they have to be able to execute at the end of the day and the tail end of it. And look at the pressure that they're going to look from Hookah here to try to tiptoe forward and catch them at A-Link.
And this is a complete opposite concept of where they put in this 4-1 before. Oh man, you're gonna see Jackie actually find a kill onto Truly as they step straight into the trap wire and using that extra overgrowth to make sure that they're all topped off. So Axel basically being a pocket healer for 7 and Jackie to make sure they're all topped up. Zugi get at least a few caught, and they will walk away. Hypex is lucky to survive, and yet they end up on the crossfire. And Zugi actually coming up big, but they're the only lone survivor on a 1v3.
Yeah, it's gonna be difficult, but I like that lurk. I would have liked a little bit more trigger discipline to not give your position away. You would have had plenty of chances for a kill, but they land the first one, almost got another one, but couldn't quite finish off the bonus round. So UofT definitely marching in the right direction, and it'll be back to square one here for Venator.
Already we got a timeout. You know what? I like an early timeout, making sure that everyone has their heads in kind of the same capacity, because when you especially get not just eco breaks, which is like that second round after your first major buy, but now you get a bonus round, which is going to put you in the bin very, very early. This can very swiftly become a 5-0, and if you go sprinting the wrong way, especially because it looks like Zugi is trying to kind of guide these pathways. They've been very much in that lurk position, the lone survivor a couple of times. See how you can activate from that. No ultimates online as of yet. They're close in a couple ways, but they got to make sure they don't let this one get recklessly out of hand.
Yeah, certainly it all starts from, you know, having more measured approach to some degree. I think it's some of the fundamentals that might be knocking them a little bit. I do like their positioning though in some of these instances, but being able to clear corners, for example, is something you got to do, especially against this UofT team who's coming in and very, very opt to not making those type of mistakes. So, you know, that, and at the end of the day, you just need 1 round at a time. It's probably not going to come here. Their weaponry not exactly where they want it to be able to approach this round the way that they want to. But at the end of the day, you know, you got to take a little bit of a slower approach, move into this next round with a bit of confidence. You know, if you can get a couple of picks, that's even better. Be able to take the rifles out of their hands and then be able to take it from there. But for now, your main focus is being able to get that first frag and then put some pressure on by getting the spike planted, which is something that we haven't quite been able to see yet from this team.
And the biggest thing that I feel like, especially with the composition off of Chamber, you have to be working onto off angles that teams are just not ready for. They were trying to make the first 3 work from kind of a lurking position if the defense would get a bit too aggressive. They're going to see the tripwire. They're going to see numbers going through that hull position. No getting caught here for Zugi. 7 trying to at least catch something, as you do at least have the Dizzy go through. They're going to have a weapon upgrade. They're going to put that in the hands of them. No, Tour de Force comes online. So this is a bit scarier. They're lining up like it's a conga line. They see that one through the wall. That wall bang does not get him. In fact, it becomes a 2-man defensive effort that wins the day.
Hey, the mosh pit only got them down to 7 HP. It didn't actually finish the job. So UofT definitely walking away with a head of steam and feeling good about it. Jan did lose their life, and yeah, a lot of them are low. So a good prime opportunity, to be honest, here if you're Venator, and if you're able to pick up a. It looks like they're still rocking the same SMGs to some degree, so wasn't able to quite pick up that weaponry either. And with the spike out of hand and across all the way to TP. Not looking like it's much of an opportunity to really do much more than maybe catch a kill or two to maybe dig into a little bit to the econ of UofT. And right now, it's, yep, sure enough. Axel gonna take care of Akio as they try to sneak through and maybe catch him from behind, but they have all their angles marked at the end of the day.
Sato hoping that anyone wants to go into a fist fight with their Bucky. I feel like the right click off of that is not as strong, and so they back up. Make sure 7 gets that wonderful kill, and something to be said about how great this team is currently executing. By the way, I don't know if you meant to, but did you say honest? To be honest?
To be honest, I did, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Kind of like a Tom DeLonge, you know?
Okay. All right.
At least that's how it sounded in my head, you know?
Oh, man. Well, we go into the 5th, and if there's a position that this squad of Venator never wanted to be, it's possibly at the other end of what could be a 5-0. And if it does end up that way, it's going to be another eco kind of sorted situation.
That works.
And they would not want to see it be the first half go completely the way of UofT. We would, but not them.
Maybe not as friendly of a notion for them. I definitely agree. But look how quickly they're here on this site, but it's going to harm them. As Kevin swung around, got a second kill before they'll fall on their backs. And Hypex able to jump into the equation too. Blinding Light will catch the Brimstone, so that'll mark them a little bit backwards. But Hypex did not catch the tail end of that one, but we'll get blinded out. But Jackie will be able to do the rest. It is just business as usual here for the University of Toronto.
My goodness, even in Invicta just a little bit ago, they were able to get at least 1 inside the first 4 and then make it a 6-2. We're looking at the possibility of a 6-0. We have not seen ultimates needed at all. Thrash is online, Showstopper, extra information from the Neural Theft, which has become one ultimate harder to obtain. And yet 7 Kevin, even at the bottom of the second, 4 and 3, I think that we just had they've been able to get their ultimate. And I think that we had Jan come into the chat after that previous game. They're like, you don't even know, he was so lucky, none of that was real. So love that we're seeing big vibes and massive confidence as we go into round number 2 of this entire bracket.
So pretty dominant up front is the True Blue. Hypex about to catch himself a little bit of love here. Trailblazer were able to get to him. And great reaction, great trigger. I was about to say trigger discipline. Crosshair placement to take care of that one. He's Brimstone and Lamps being chased out here, truly. As Axel on the tail end of that one wasn't able to connect with it, but Axel knows exactly where he is. They're finding truly on that side. This guy's going to try to open up this space. Yawn with a Showstopper. Down to 1 HP, a little bit sketch. Also dizzy in your face as well. Not able to see much and turns the corner. Froglight will take out the rest, or take out a couple before Axel's able to get the job done. But regardless of how you draw it up, it's still a 6-0 lead here for University of Toronto.
I'm looking like me whenever I have the rockets in Halo, just throwing it straight at my feet, but they actually survive. So, big difference between me and them. So 6 goes up. That's the only ultimate that has been used so far here for this game. Everything else otherwise online here for University of Toronto. Otherwise, on the other side, you do have Thrash and you have Seekers. So if you can utilize some of that extra information, they could gain themselves some space. And especially off of that Arsenal diff that we saw in that previous eco round, they've got to make this one count. That double execute could work out for them, but they've gone back to B. They've at least found the majority of pressure here, because anytime that they step towards A, they get crushed, especially at Lamps.
Yeah, and they're just like playing into their strengths too, the Blue is, because right now you see all 4 of them, or 4 of them rather, on that side of Cypher to kind of be on their lonesome, and they'll back out before they're taken out. As they do jump on the site pretty quickly. All the traps were broken in an instant, so that was a clear indicator that you gotta get out of dodge. And now there's that 4 rotated side by side. Axel will take the first pick. That'll allow them to jump on and occupy some space. But Akio done a little bit of damage here too at the 30K. Kevin will take out Frog Life at the tail end of this one with a 2-piece of their own. 7-0 for the University of Toronto. But that one looked a little bit more promising for Venator. They just couldn't get the job done.
It was a little more promising, and I just saw that an operator is online. I don't know if that was picked up by the other side or if they bought into that one. Either way, that's a very powerful weapon. That's going to be sitting in the hands of Jan. Where are they going to? It's going to be top side truck, perhaps, if they end up kind of sitting towards that A position, depending on where Tetris ends up going. Yeah, so they're going to be on this truck side, and I feel like that has to be understood. You don't go towards A, especially surrendering that kind of power weapon, and that's why all numbers here for Venator have waylaid and sashayed over towards B.
They want to keep hitting it. It's the closest they've been, to be honest. It's really tough, like, unless you have a way to get shower control easily. The Rays just haven't quite been able to get it done, to be honest. Let's try B instead. They were able to chase down Hypex before. He's able to book it out of here too. So now it's up to 7. Kevin, the hero from last time, but it'll catch the unfortunate blunt end of a judge. And now it'll be pressing in. Venator, Sato to kind of pull it through. This should be the first round one if they play their cards right. Oh, Axel got a couple before he fell.
Gonna take some numbers as they peek over that cresting horizon just there, but 7-1 is a different way to get at least into this this fight. And so Azugi will pick up that operator and will at least have a better weapon for themselves. Now, again, this is what I say is the problem. You have a chamber, and it's not like, you know, trading out, having a opposite Senti in a Cypher really kind of gives you more pressure to get to site, but you're far more reliant on your Sky and your Rays, which really have been able to gain space but not impact wall directly on A or B. And I feel like that has been kind of missing to really weaponize this chamber concept. They're gonna have the boom bot go out early. They know at least one is here in Hookah, but they've spread their value, seeing what they can get around Zugi on short A.
And Akio's been landing shots, so I would have liked to maybe see a jet instead. I get it, you want the Rays, you know, with all the space you can clear out, but maybe you brought in a Rays in addition to the jet, right? I mean, would have found great value out of just their ability to at least win those gun battles, but now it's gonna be tough. Yet another death. Yet another time you see the spike laying on the ground. They'll try to snag that one too, but Akio, before they're able to get to it, can't do it. On the other side as well, Jackie is taking care of business. Meanwhile, on that A side, but right now, Hookah around that area is where the spike will lay. And although they do get one, make it two. Wow, that operator, you know, switch out of the headhunter was actually pretty clean, but unfortunately, it won't be enough to win the round.
Oh boy, that got a little bit scary, a little bit scarier for me. So you know, they at least got through it, especially off of the early, just kind of aim in, ADS, be on the corner, and see what you can walk away with. So a shining light in what is otherwise the bin of dim darkness here for Venator. 8-1. We're near about the exact same level of what we had in the previous game. Both these teams, like you had mentioned, 13-5 on a bind previous. I pray that we're not just stuck in the simulator that we call life, as well as this same map all the way through the end of this year, or at least the end of the night. Early operator, they know they can have to force Jan to reposition off of truck, so they begin to sprint, and yet they try to take the blind fight, and they had a judge in the back pocket.
That was great usage and combination as Rays was able to jump out and not be in the line of fire while they were able to accomplish that with a dizzy in the face of the defense. So great combo use in that util. Jan's gonna try to overkill it here as Sato was able to get to it, but they did eventually make the switch from the operator to the pistol. But at the end of the day, it'll be a quick switch through the TP. They'll go, but that sound cue will be given. An opportunity here for Hypex to try the 1v2 retake, it seems, but he's getting over pretty quickly. They don't have much util to work with in order to cover anything up, and Hypex gets the first one. Now we'll toss out Wingman. We'll meet the Trailblazer here, turns, and we'll finish the job. Hypex gets it done again, and a 9-1 lead here for the University of Toronto.
It looked like a Pokemon battle there, Bear. I swore it was looking like one. What types are that? Because, you know, usually they go by color, so it almost feels like Wingman would be an electric type, but with the way he just kind of claps at you, it feels like a normal type, right?
Yeah, Trailblazer definitely has got to be a that's got to be grass type. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Okay. A Wingman, is he fairy type? Maybe.
Absolutely, because it's some magic the way that you're able to get that spike down.
Oh, that's true. I like that. Okay, so apparently that's going to be the winning elemental difference there. So the first 10 rounds, maybe this is the reason why Venator did not want to be on stream, because right now it is another dominant feature here.
Let's play.
The Beeves of True Blue. So Another one, but look at this off angle. They're going to try and at least find that first pick from that tour de force as they walk from out of showers. Becomes a numbers game, but Jackie gets him on the wall bang.
On the far side there, cleaned out showers, but now you hear everything that's developing here on the other side. Gardens taken by Accio. Great usage of the paint shells as well. Now the blast packs here from Accio to try to find a little bit of space. 7, Kevin on the other side. 7th Kevin trying to get this kill. But here, you'll see them being marked out here. They will get the spike down. Wingman, very tight in your face. Kevin gets one. Jans, great methodical approach to get on this side. Axel will take out the last one. So now it's not a matter of getting the spike planted from Venator. It's a matter of holding on this deadly retake that Toronto's had.
Nasty. Just at every single point of sight, too, unyielded by University of Toronto. And we walk into what could be another 10-2 first half beginning, or could even be that much better. And a second timeout because reasons. So, all right, we had one in round number 3, and now they get another one. I guess you can get as many as you like. Is this Kirby Smart from the Georgia Tech game? If you know, you know. So,
I mean, it's an excellent point. Probably not a whole lot of people know, but we don't have to expand on it.
It was a great game.
Fantastic game. Georgia Tech almost won it. It's crazy.
They should have won it. Refs were paid actors.
All right, now we're getting into conspiracy theories, so need to
be
move on.
Real. Even the I think it was the mayor of Atlanta was like, they did it, and then he had to delete it real fast from Instagram. Yeah. Prop bets galore. All right, so we go into this extra timeout, and Venator obviously not exactly a fantastic position here, Bear, and defense has been a wonderful gift to start off both times for UofT. I mean, they've really weaponized this composition to full effect.
Yeah, they certainly have. North of the border, but that just means ice in the veins.
Equipment.
At the very least. No affiliation with Nintendo, by the way, going back a couple of points ago. We find ourselves in a position where it could very well be attended to. But to be honest, the way things have been flowing right now for this defense, it could very easily be an 11-1 as well if they play their cards right. They really don't want Hookah to be approached either. As you see all the trap wires, all the trap. You think you get through one, you might have to go through another one. Right now, the TP, it might actually be perfect for this squad. As they jump through, the Brimstone decided they just wanted to jump in and get hot and heavy. And then when they try to break through, it'll be difficult for them. The Dizzy will create a little bit of space. Paint shells to showstopper. It doesn't matter. A flawless round easily as they tore through all that util like it was nothing to take the 11-1 lead.
Switching sides.
Those Brimstone boots are made for walking past your teammate as they get fished on the tripwire line. So 11-1, non-stop baguettes on the top of the scoreboard as we finally get onto the other side of things. You know, I actually kind of worry for Toronto here because they have been able or not been able to play very much into the attacking half. They're getting way less reps, and depending on how kind of those attack and defense pick sides go, maybe they want some of those. But either way, 2 away from finding themselves into the semifinals of this awesome Valorant Rival Series number 11. And shout out over to KIVO for getting all this organized. Logistics abound. I think I saw like a gazillion teams, and that number's at least 32. But this has been a wonderful selection so far here for UofT.
Stim beacon down.
So it's going to be at a very difficult spot here. All 4 of them marching forward, but they're able to jump away, maybe, temporarily. Jan trying to chase them down too. Down they will go. And now Sato trying to chase down Jan. It has a shotgun in the face, but wasn't able to land the kill with a shorty, no less. Very close angled shot, Sato on the far side with this, but Jan's doing some damage on the far side. Hypex another one. Sato finally being able to make good use out of that shot, but you're not going to be able to do that when there's so many angles to cover, so many people in your face. At 12-1 lead and map point here for the University of T.
Point.
Kevin's having none of it. Absolutely none of it. Oh, body shots galore. 12-1, and you know that if you're on the other side, you've got to force up, and that's exactly what we're seeing. Now, the cool thing that you actually get into some of these is you get to run with your weapons, or at least kind of some force up weapons, but you also get to have some of those refresher shields. So if you get some of those regeneratives, that actually keeps you in the fight longer, even when you're facing up against kind of this eco. Will that be the difference maker? We'll get to see as they immediately bring the fight.
Yeah, you want it at this point in time, the way it's been going, to just try to take and occupy a lot of the space and be able to challenge them early. Hypex able to get one of the two that were off the bat pretty early. Now it's Stinger plays, so they played into it, even though they lost the pistol round, but it's Axel. Couple with the Outlaw. Sato is still able to answer it though. And it now just an excellent retaliation when this should basically be over. Based on the circumstances there, Venator said, no, we will live to play another round.
Yeah, you go into a CQC situation, you find an eco break, and you end up finding yourselves on the other side of a dub. So fantastic work, making use, especially for stingers that are made for that. So they had the buy up from out of UofT, and now with this squad from Venator, you know, okay, we're gonna force them to at least be into classics, maybe even the smallest buy up of a sheriff, as I will sit in the pocket of 7, who has kind of been chilling, not really having to do as much as they did before, because that first round they were going 31 and everything, and now Zugi trying to turn this defense into a winning factor here for Venator.
Finding a lot of success from these long-range weapons versus the Outlaw. I think that time was the Marshall, if I'm not mistaken. Here's the Yawns on this side too. Sure enough, it's a Marshall battle going on. As Sato's trying to spam through. Yawns here just kind of hanging out on the far side. We just didn't see the quick switch, a brilliant one at that. Frogline takes out another one, and it now just down to one, and it was Zugi. Really, the definition of this round, getting a lot of value out of the Marshall.
All right, so, they didn't get to pick up that weapon, so maybe they were hoping to kind of switch things around. In fact, they will have a Marshall at least there on the floor. I feel like they're regretting something, but either way, there's a long way to go here. I say it often, and so people just say I'm an old boomer as a broken record. No, some of you haven't even seen records in your lifetime, but I don't believe in any of these until I see a 12-10. You have to get yourself so far into a match for it to even matter. However, one round at a time. And regen shield here on Jan, who has really been able to run behind and alongside their Sky. Oh, they saw the tiniest pixel. Jackie stepping away as they start to march into showers.
Yeah, that was a close one, but they were able to just shrug the shoulder a little bit to get down below this one. They will catch it on the tail end of this one as the Marshall to operator upgrade will definitely be one of use. Jackie on their back too as they try to challenge that one. They keep peeking him, but he's been able to convert on a lot of these shots. And Sato now with the judge gets 1 kill, and 7 holding strongly in this A link, trying to get Zugi to jump out at you. The last thing you want to do is peek on this operator. It's red hot. Hypex now dealing with the Dizzy rather, and will not able to do so. Left with just 7. He's been good in these clutch situations, but it would be a long shot if they're able to take this one as well. Up and heaven, able to take out 1. Step in the right direction here. Just waiting for the next one to peak, to be honest. We're spamming in the right spots, by the way. So definitely a good intuition as far as where they're positioned. So whether or not they can follow through. Great tuck behind that wall just in time. Now the challenge, but not able to get it done as Ziggy. That's so many times that they're able to get a lot of value out of these long-range shots. If anybody's going to force them back into this one, it'll be this man.
Zugi, remember, they went 13-12-1 on their previous map of Bind. So far, 15-12-2, so marginally better, and really the only person positive on the entirety of the squad. And if there was ever a place for a player to start popping off with a Sentinel, it's on the defensive half, and that's exactly what we saw out of 7 on their first half, and eventually finished with a 30 bomb. So, another eco round here for the University of Toronto. So you can find themselves kind of an impact play, maybe get some weapons out of hands, because, I mean, Zugi was shooting that just like it was a Halo 2 rifle. So let's see if they at least walk onto sight with some promise.
Yeah, they shifted right into where showers would be. And Akio is doing the same job necessary with the Vandal this time on the far side. And will be able to cause some damage. You see them sneaking up towards the attack side as a couple right behind. So we'll see if they're able to make the adjustment. Hypex needs to be ready for this one. Right now, kind of hanging out with Yawns, trying to figure it out, but hopefully they don't take too long, because right now, Frog Life is about to sneak behind them if they're able to get to it, but they're taking their time. So will they be able to get to it? Sure enough, they do. A little bit sketched, but they're able to land a kill at the end of the day. Akio and Frog Life with a couple of kills, truly, and with the last 2. So that's a flawless round here. So I know you said it's going to take a while before you believe, but right now, so far, so good. A flawless round is going to do nothing but help their econ, deficit here to try to pull them back within a reasonable distance at least.
That's very true, because I mean, you now have that, and they're, especially with some of their slaying potential, gonna have at least enough creds for the longevity of this half. Now, again, they have to force overtime to get anywhere, especially to find themselves with a ticket in hand to go to the semifinals. And at this point, they can find first pick potential. They've got to do it into these rifle rounds. On the other side of things, UofT has to do the same thing. They're going to look for that first orb Akio. If they don't have anyone peeking through the sky smoke, will have a guaranteed showstopper into their back pocket if they want it. Tour de Force can be online if they want as well with that Thrash, and Zugi has the same tough angle, but that Thrash is going to get used to try and clear all corners, and they're going to get themselves on the site. It doesn't matter though, they use their teammate as bait to go over the top rope. It's an RKO by 7.
Oh, Kevin with the turn. Oh, Zugi! Are you kidding me? The 3 back to back to back. You call it a headhunter, but he means it. And Axel is going to be forced back outwards, but has a spike, and I'll be going through defender's spawn in order to get over to A with the rotation. Minute on the clock, so an easy plant here to try and attempt this 1v2 situation. And there's been a couple times, I mean, Zugi's been great, but Axel's got a couple of back-to-back kills pretty easily. But the problem is, all they have right now is the regrowth. They do have Seekers, which I'd love to see used in this situation as well, Hell Monkey Man. That'll give you an idea as far as where they're going to come from. We'll see when they pull them, if they do.
Axel is going to have to face off against this Thrash as well. They know that there's at least some push coming out from Shower, and with the Showstopper, it's a guaranteed kill if they can just find them. They think that they're over in heaven to base on this plant. They're going to throw that rocket probably into this near side hallway, and they're going to use those Seekers. They're going to actually have the Wingman covering down for them. They're going to use those, and they have to get back over to Wingman instead. It will be completed. They will be able to get this defuse off, I think so. Wait a minute. Hold on. Yeah. 0.68.
0.68. I'm not even close, dude. I wasn't nervous. I wasn't sweating at all. I mean, could have been handled a little bit better from Venator, let's be honest. But at the end of the day, you got the job done. Live to see another round, and that'll force the UofT into a precarious. Oh my goodness, I can't find the word. Help me out, oh monkey man.
Precarious
situation. Thank you. As it'll be tough to buy, is what I was trying to get at there. Long story short. Yeah, I mean, Venator, again, a situation where, you know, I would have liked to see maybe the Seekers a little bit earlier to find out where they were and be able to finish out. Now I've seen Axel be able to close this out, but you move on. Gotta get to the next round. Trailblazer out from Axel. Does see where the guiding light came from, so I bet they got a little bit of information from that one too. Always enough confidence to move forward, but Zugi again. Looking, feeling so good. First is the Headhunter, then it's the Tour de Force, and now, oh my goodness, using 3 weapons as the judge comes through for their 3rd kill of the round, I believe. Maybe the 2nd one, but either way, Akio finding value out of the paint shells also. Now left to just 1 left, and Sato will take out 7, and they're inching their way back, Hill Monkey Man. That's their 7th round.
That is very true. They're slowly crawling their way up. Now there's still a mountain to climb. They've been able to crest at one of those summits, but still the peak is very, very far away because they now have to get through yet another one of those very kind of game-ending swings, depending on how this rifle round goes, because you have what? You have this round, you've got into round number 10. You basically have 3 more rifle rounds, depending on how this kind of ebb and flow of the overall eco does find itself before we find ourselves into OT. So there's 3 major stakes at hand to get themselves into a semifinal. And you know what? I was saying that we haven't had that many chances to have an attacking half for UofT. Getting a lot of reps right now, but eventually you've got to shut down the game.
Ibex diving down behind this smoke. Right now they're able to sidestep one, but truly Akio with another combination. But Jackie with a great job on the backside. Coming from defender spawn, was able to at least march forward with the kill of their own. Frog Life though gonna combine, and Sato does the rest. 2 left standing again, and just a 4-round differential heading into round number 21.
They've got a orbital strike online for both sides and a neural theft here for 7 on the side of the UofT Varsity. So start sweating. I have not seen a timeout as of yet. That means active comms have got to be clicking for True Blue. See what this squad can do. But otherwise, I mean, you're in another kind of dip into your overall buy economics. On the other end of things, I was talking about that being one of 3 chances left to kind of finish things off. and they decided to just raw face check. What can we do through a sky smoke? Well, now you're going to try and hard swing with Zugi. They know if someone's right side corner, you get tagged with that cam, and they have to be able to back away. Didn't even use a rendezvous to make sure that that cooldown is still online.
I'm surprised that Zugi got out with her life, to be honest. There, they were swung that so wide. There's no coverage there for it. Having used the operator for that one. Oh, rendezvous just in time. That was sketch. And now Frog Life able to come from for the backside there and be able to take out a couple. Man, that was such a strong move. If that rendezvous doesn't work and you get on your back, it's just a 2v1 situation or a 2-1 swing. Instead, now it's just two taken out in a 5v3 situation instead. Not very good here for UofT. Venator doing what they need to do. Sato, another one. He's been fantastic. Hypix able to take out one with the Headhunter. Does avoid the guiding light, but you gotta reload. So unfortunate timing there, but Frog Life with yet another 3K of their own. Back within 3.
Second to last chance in terms of rifle rounds to make it happen. It's not as if you can't do it off of a thrifty, but before overtime, this is a heat check moment, and I've got to think if this one doesn't go the right way, we're going to be seeing a timeout out of UofT just to be able to cool the jets, to get everyone prepared for what may be the inevitability for the end of this second half. And look at the streak. Both sides have had a chance to really make defense reign supreme. You can definitely see where both sides were able to find some strength and success. So Zugi, again, you put a chamber with an operator, it's just peanut butter and jelly. It's the regular end all be all. Oh, they see the first, and they take a shot right behind them, getting clapped in the hands by a wingman, and they press up. Odin for 7, you dog.
He's done with this mess. He's had enough of it. Seeker's out as well. As now Truly will fall on their back. A great first pick. It's been a while since we saw first blood from UofT, and that's exactly what we've gotten right now. 7 in Hypex. Working together in tandem. The Dizzy is going to land on Akio, and Axel takes care of one, but Akio is able to fight away from it, though. Oh, and into the backside. Showstopper on their hands as well. Yawns from a sneaky spot, and will get a couple of kills of their own, and they should be able to finish out here. They got 5 HP, so Yawns won't be able to do it. But you got 3 members still standing for UofT. They've got a great chance to close out now. And it's up to Sato to keep this one alive, but Hell Monkey Man, it'll be difficult. Spike has been planted. They got a long way to go, and they got to snuff up 3 before they can even get it done.
They're planted for backside. Orbital strike is online. They may even use that as a deterrent just to keep Sato all the way down into B long. As soon as they see a single whiff of a pixel, they're gonna actually use it to clear out that hookah position. And getting your doppelganger is one of the best ways to do it. Jackie clears the board. 13-9 before it ever became an issue. University of Toronto is moving on to the semifinals.
It got a little bit scary there. I credit Venator. I told you right when they won their second round, I was like, okay, listen, it's a long shot at this point, I know, but they were able to piece things together as time went on. They were a lot more methodical after that second timeout in the first half. We'll kind of get the details on what that was all about. But at the same time, I mean, Zugi, excellent work. Ending 20-15-3, but my goodness, the differential, the KD in the last, what was it, 7-8 rounds was absolutely outstanding. Had to be in the realm of like 15-3 at that point in time because he was popping off. Just all he needed was basically a scope in his life. And when he did, the Marshall looked good. The Outlaw was the first one to kick it off, and the Operator also looked great too. The top fragger of the lobby, but just not quite enough to get it done. But everybody was clicking from Venator there, and it took a full-fledged effort from the University of Toronto to turn it around, and they were able to do it, and they'll be moving on to the next round. That's the unfortunate circumstance of a best of 1, because if it was Venator moving into a map 2 here in a best of 3, maybe things would have been different. They certainly had the momentum at the tail end of that Hill Monkey map.
Yeah, that definitely could have been the spelling of a new attitude, especially into a game number 2. But for right now, you got to deal with the hand that you're dealt, and they were almost able to kind of flip the entire river. Instead, they will be kept on the other side, have empty bank accounts, and they'll be moving over to at least the observer's point of view. But on the University of Toronto side, they will be moving on to the semifinals. We are waiting to see who the opponent will be. I'm actually refreshing my bracket. It's going to be between Pug Squad versus Mythos Fates, which sounds so edgelord. I want to see that team. We'll get to find out all about that and more. Please stick with us. This awesome Valorant Rival Series number 11, as presented by, and I guess TO'd by KIVO. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back in, everyone, for the University of Toronto and Jan, who is not yawning at all. In fact, they're alive, they're awake, they're loud. Jan, congratulations. It's semifinals time in just a little bit. This awesome rival series here presented by KIVO has been really competitive, but that last one, talk me through it, because obviously the first match, dominant performance, finished it out pretty fast, but that second match took you guys a decent amount of time having to deal with old Zugi over there. What was the game plan to walk you through that second round?
Well, the second game was rocky. We had a really shaky T start, but at the same time, we were also just vibing. It was very cinematic, as they said. But honestly, in the end, we prevailed because we were better. And I feel like we just had more team chemistry. Like we decided to work around the problem instead of actually just like running it down, and then we won. Like they got lucky a few rounds, they hit a nice shot, like that's good on them. But in the end, it's just we won because we're better.
Just better.
And advancing, I mean, when you get the win on the board, it's definitely it's nothing you can argue against. And I think a big part of that was Kevin. So talk a little bit about Kevin, because he's been number one, a great teammate to have around, just from the util that you get from that Cypher has been excellent on Bind, but just basically his fragging ability as well. I mean, talk about how great it is to have a teammate like that, to have that support that you need and you can rely on.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin, absolutely a beast. Dropping 31 on the first map was crazy. They would come to his site, he would get 30. It's like we didn't have a chance to play the game. Like I think he had 31, the closest one had 16. He had more frags than the entire team combined. Like he's just an absolute beast on the server. So what can we say? He's amazing.
No doubt. I mean, he's been spectacular. He's been leading the charge as far as you know, the frags go. But you've also, as a duelist yourself, have been among some of the top 2 as far as the lobby goes. So we've seen you on raids a couple of times, but that's because we've been on Bind twice. Is your plan to go back to Bind? Do you like Bind as a map moving forward? And also, if not, are you going to stick on that raids? What are your thoughts moving forward?
So the map, we just decided on Bind because we didn't really want to play Split for the second map. Our game plan right now is we're just gonna see whatever everybody wants to play, like whatever we feel more comfortable on, and maps where you all feel comfortable playing on, and we're gonna go and ban from there. Bind was a map where we had a fair amount of practice on, and it's been like an old map, so we all pretty much have a good idea on how to play the map. And so that's why we decided to choose that map more than, like, let's say, like Abyss, since it's more of a new map, and then some of us may not have like played that much. So obviously we would like pick maps that we're familiar with. And as on the roles, I don't plan on playing Raze all the time. I am the duelist, however. So depending on the map, I would pick like maybe Jet. Depending, like if it's like Ascent, then obviously like I think I would go Jet. But yeah.
Okay. All right. You know what? I saw you coming into chat. You were like, you know what? Especially just now, you're giving us the good looks. 31 bomb, but in the chat you were like, man, he was so lucky. He was finding 3 all the time. We can already tell the vibes are high. You guys are a fantastically coordinated team that just feeling good about it. Is there anyone that you guys want to be able to give some love over to, some shout outs or anything? Maybe even just some good looks and maybe some comms directly from the team to everyone else in chat.
Well, shout out to Danny, aka Toilet. He's one of the goated staffs. Shout out to Josie too, managing this whole thing, and obviously shout out to all the varsity members, Jackie, Kevin, Axel, Hypex. You guys are amazing. Let's try and win this matches and get first, maybe second. We'll see.
So, we're hoping that you can do the exact same thing. You're going to the semifinals, man. I hope that you guys stay warm, stay frosty, and are able to continue to just keep driving forward. Another best of 1 and a best of 3 if you're able to reach grand finals, and we're all going to be behind cheering you on.
Thank you.
Of course. Well, Bear, that's what we got for today. Final thoughts before we send these guys over. We're actually going to be checking out the KIVO esports channel. What do we got for the rest of the guys as we look through the other broadcasts?
Yeah, no doubt about it. Right now, I mean, Cal State Fullerton at the #1 seed is one that I'm looking at for sure. So taking an eyeball there, and eyeball test says that team looks incredibly strong. So, I mean, as a #1 seed going up against perhaps the #2 of UofT, if they can continue that run on the semifinal side, perhaps that'll be the matchup at hand. But Divine Alphaware as well, looking to make their way through, and in fact, they will be the ones to challenge it. So Alphaware Olympians will be taking on Cal State Fullerton Orange on the other side of the semifinals as well. It'll be Pug Squad going up with UofT Varsity as well. Hill Monkey Man.
Jan, final thoughts before you face off against Pug Squad. Is it going to be a 13-0? What do you think, man?
We'll see. We'll see how Kevin gets back. But I'm sure it'll be an interesting game.
But you know what? They just like Jan said a little bit ago, they're just better. We're hoping that you guys do, in fact, follow their pathway to glory. You can find it over at KIVO Esports, KIVO Esports, all one word, as we shut down the broadcast here today. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We did have Kirsten, as well as, I believe, Tina, that was able to hang out and do the observing as well as the production here today. And thank you so much, Bear Light, for hanging out with us, as well as Jan for being with us in the booth for this awesome interview. Y'all, follow their glory as they are able to run it down here for this 11th Valorant Rival Series. Otherwise, you have a great night, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. You as well.